Because if you think that they're the only ones, then you can't be like, oh, well, women don't fight in wars because you don't even want them to.
They don't fight in them. They're in support roles.
I just feel like that cannot be true.
Support roles?
Well, it is true.
I feel like there's so many women in the military. You're telling me none of them are on the lines at all?
Well, so, I mean, men need to have people cook food. And
I didn't know. The more you know.
So
no, women are not allowed in frontline combat.
I did not know. That's interesting. Do you know, is that like has that been a forever thing, or is that like a...
No, women, actually, feminists have been trying to beat down the door to get rid of this policy, right? And as it turns out, women don't want to go fight in wars. What a shock. Everybody is so shocked by the fact that women don't want to go pick up an M16.
We also don't want to
go to the front line.
Well, I don't want to that goes back to like nature versus nurture, though. It's like, I feel like there's more of, I guess, a natural instinct for men to take out their, anger or whatever in something like violence, whereas women wouldn't always go to that point. Women love violence
as much as men do.
But they like psychological warfare.
Same,
man. Women are like, we're up here twisting your mind.
But isn't it interesting that if you could psychologically get a man to conduct violence on your behalf, that is still something that women like to watch, is the exit of the violence. Well, then why conduct it to begin with?
Exactly.
Because
love and
women,
peace.
But you just got done saying women do.
Well, I wasn't sure. I know that I've seen women in like military uniforms, so I was just like, well, what?
Well,
like,
yeah, they're in support roles, sure. And
but not in like hand-on-hand.
Well, they're not supposed to be. There have been women who have been in combat, right? But that wasn't supposed to be how it worked.
Who says supposed to?
Like, you could be a helicopter pilot in a support role who's a female pilot and crash land behind enemy lines. Now you're in combat. That can happen, but that's not.
And
the
I
intention.
can shingle roofs.
Yeah, that's not. It's not the intention.
Though, like, do construction? Are you being serious? Like, you think women are fighting because they want to do construction? Like, I don't know. I just don't. Me? Yeah, I don't think I've met a single girl who's like physically wants to do any of those things. Women just, I mean,
I'd go a step further and say can't.
Yeah, we'd be struggling like for the same guy could do it. I had to build a table, right? I was on this TV show called Fish Tank, but they literally so I got punished one day for no reason. I think the audience just wanted me to do it. Every season someone has to build a table, and when I tell you, like, I almost had a mental breakdown. I had to sit by myself. They gave me a saw and some nails, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, it's just because I don't want to do it. Like, I don't think any of those girls didn't want to do it. The guy would have been like, oh, sick, I could build a table.
But you have to understand that was because of the social structures and the social engineering.
Thank you.
It was the social engineering from the evil patriarchy.
Wait, let me ask,
but I'm saying women naturally aren't like, because biologically I don't think biologically, it's a combination, I think, of biological
because
and
they don't have
social.
any interest in it.
Yeah.
Like, look, you can reduce, the thing is like, if we were in the case where you couldn't go get a job at an oil rig, right? And there wouldn't be a million government incentives to make sure that you were on an oil rig as Rosie the Riveter, flexing that muscle, you know what I mean? Pumping that oil, and you could give that one shot at the camera and be like, I did that. It would be a feminist fucking dream.
Yeah.
Okay? They would love it. They would adore it. It would be a massive photo op. It would be great. By the way, they would love to have double the workforce because then they could have the wages. Okay, if they had 50% more applicants who were women than men,
I really like
they would
your
have the
slippery
wages.
slope fallacy you're doing right now.
There's no slippery slope.
That's okay.
What's the fallacy?
The slippery slope. You're like, well, if women go down the oil rigs, then there's gonna be 50% of the workforce, and then the wage is gonna go down.
It's not a slippery slope, and I'll explain why.
Okay, please.
Okay, so if you and I are both qualified for the same job, okay, and we both go and we apply for that job, the employer has more or less negotiating power than only if one of us apply for that job.
Sure.
Does he have more or less?
More.
He has more negotiating power. Okay, so then.
But that's if any two male applicants.
So then, if you're an oil rig operator, right, and women are capable of doing this job just like men, why wouldn't you want a ton of women to apply for this job, even though it would give you way more negotiating power over wages?
Wait. I'm a little bit confused. Did you say between, like, if a male applicant and a female applicant?
No, just it wouldn't even matter if they're male or female, or two females,
or two
males. If two people apply for a job versus one, does the employer have more or less negotiating power?
More.
More. So then that would mean that if you were the oil rig operator, if women could do that job, you would actually want a ton of them to apply, because then they have more negotiating power over the wages, right?
I guess.
So then if that stands to reason, how in the world, why would oil rig operators be suppressing women away from oil rig work?
I just don't know if anybody really dreams of working on an oil rig, male or woman.
Oh, no. There's men who love that shit. They live for it. They're called roughnecks. They love nothing more than to go work on fucking oil rigs all day long, every day. They can't wait. They dream of that shit. They're 16 years old, and they're like, I'm going to be on an oil rig when I'm 19, baby, and I'm going to make that living for us. I'm not kidding.
Because of their dad?
I want to build a table.
I want to build a table.
Libertariat donated $200. Architecture equals construction. Knowing how to draw a map that balances loads is different from actually building something. That's like saying a naval architect can weld a submarine.
It's true.
Yeah, sort of. But I also feel like that's a completely different industry. Like, not a different industry, sorry, different trade, welding. But also, ideally, your architect knows how to build a house so it won't fall down. So they have to have a pretty darn good understanding of construction.
Can I ask you a question? Actually, can I ask everyone a question? Is that okay?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. How many people here can lift over 150 pounds?
What does that have to do with anything?
No, it actually does.
Some of you women do not like yourself.
150 pounds.
Like, like what are those? Bench pressing?
Just whatever. Like, you can lift it up.
Well,
how many people here can
by yourself?
Here, this is better. How many people here can just lift more than 75 pounds?
I for sure can.
Really?
I have to for my job.
I've picked up my boyfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
How much does he weigh?
Okay.
145.
How much?
No. He's more like 138.
And how much do you weigh?
120.
But wait.
115, 120.
Wait, hang on. Did you do the thing where you grab the midsection and then use your whole back to pull back with leverage?
I use my knees.
You picked him up with your knees?
I lift. You lift with your knees so you don't fuck up your back.
Yeah, I get that, but that doesn't actually always increase your lift power.
That's fair. That's fair enough.
Okay.
But my point was, none of you can work construction then. Because you have to be able to lift a certain amount in order to
Can I add to
construction.
your point? Because literally, imagine this, right? Any of you, put yourself in the shoes. You want to wake up at 5 in the morning. You want to be outside in the sun all day long for 16-hour days, lifting things all day, sweating. Literally, you think that women would ever go to that? Because it's harder for us. There might be one weightlifter girl who would be like, yeah, that's cool, but she's not going to do that because she's going to be doing
These bottom broads, they can't hardly bring the iced tea to the workers without going, it's so hot out here.
Literally,
like, what the fuck?
Sorry,
you know what I mean?
You're different if you think you want to do construction as a woman. It's just insane.
This yellow jacket's so ugly.
You lift two things, you're like, yeah, I did that. Did you guys see that? I lifted it.
I mean, if you were raised by like a single father and like your father taught you how to do construction, I'm sure.
I'm not saying
it's not
that
about knowing how to do it. We can know how to do it and not be strong enough to do it.
Yeah. And my point is not that it can't happen.
We can learn. Not smart, but we can't physically be able to do the same things as a man. Where again, it might take us 2 hours to do the same thing a guy can do.
Exactly.
Because of our physical abilities.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that there's not women that have those physical.
There might be one.
Just because you're incapable does not mean everybody else is.
I don't know one single girl. In my whole life, I don't know one single girl who was like, "Daddy." And my dad does construction. By the way,
going on over here.
My dad.
You are way more capable than I think. You think you are way more capable of doing these things than you actually are of doing these things.
Really? Says you?
I have fucking eyeballs. You weigh 90 pounds. You're not getting on a roof and shingling it.
But she can definitely do it if
fucking
she puts
crazy.
her mind to it.
Like, I have eyeballs. Like,
you want a reward for it.
How about we do this?
She's like, look at me, I did this.
So this is what we're gonna do. This is what, like, Lucy,
girl.
There's roofing companies in Santa Barbara. Maybe they can reach out.
You're gonna apply me?
I'm gonna have you do a day with a roofing company. We're gonna film it. We're gonna film it.
Okay.
How much am I getting paid for this?
I'll do the same day.
Okay, then you have to challenge them to learn
That's
how
what
to do
I'm
a
saying.
woman's
What
job.
makes you capable? But can you lift 175 pounds, Andrew?
Yes.
No.
Are there any
yes, I can.
Any roofing company owners in Santa Barbara who?
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about me. I'm saying that there probably are women who do want to do it.
Yeah.
Where?
Probably.
I don't know.
It's a very small
Nowhere.
demographic. Just like
I've never heard of one woman complain that they can't do
here. It
construction.
stands to reason. If it was the case that women were as capable of doing these jobs as men are, right? You claim, no, it's a social stigma. From a business owner's perspective, if they get way more leverage in negotiating, if they have more applicants, why the fuck wouldn't they want women who are just as capable to apply for those jobs?
Also, sorry, but those would be considered diversity hires.
Probably because of stereotypes. Like they probably think, oh, well, they probably think what you think. Oh, well, this woman, she's skinny. She might not be able to lift. She might not be able to get it done as fast.
They care about money.
I know, but they don't want to pay that same person more if they think that they're going to take longer to do things.
No, by you applying, they necessarily have the leverage to pay everybody less. They can necessarily pay everybody
There's just nothing
less.
I could say to convince them. So
Private chat.
Yeah.
We have a message here from Lucas.